This is something you guys have been requesting for a long time. It took a lot of effort, but I finally found two bone-chilling stories that take place during school lockdowns. So, buckle up and prepare for a gripping ride into the eerie unknown. Before we dive in, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more such incredible content. Your support helps keep the stories coming. Story 1. It was a typical boring day in calculus. Only it was Friday, 7th period, meaning the week was almost over, and spring break was just around the corner. The classroom was filled with restless energy, with everyone getting antsy in their seats. Fortunately, we didn't have a test that day, unlike some of my friends in other classes. Our laid-back teacher decided to turn the last period into a fun activity, pulling up some games on sporkle.com. The mood was light, and laughter filled the room as we tackled brand logo quizzes, cracking jokes, and teasing each other when someone got an answer wrong. Then the atmosphere shifted dramatically. I remember the exact moment it happened. My friend answered a question. Adidas was the answer, when the dean's voice crackled through the loudspeaker. His tone was panicked and frantic as he announced, "This is not a drill. Go into lockdown immediately." A wave of chills ran down my spine, and goosebumps covered my arms. Even our usually calm and collected teacher showed signs of fear as he quickly turned off the lights and ushered us to the back corner of the room. Chairs scraped against the floor as we all huddled together in the dark, the once lively classroom now eerily silent. The silence was deafening. We sat there, motionless, for about 2 minutes. Suddenly, the familiar buzzing sound from the panel in the back of the room stopped, signaling that the school had cut the power. That's when it hit us. This was serious. Moments later, a terrifying sound echoed through the hallway, a man screaming at the top of his lungs. His voice grew closer, sending a ripple of fear through the room. 2 girls started crying, their sobs amplifying the tension. The screaming man began banging on lockers, shouting, "I'll kill all of you!" My heart raced as fear for my life took hold. Our teacher gestured for silence, his face pale and tense. Then, the banging moved from the lockers to our classroom door. The man pounded on the door, yelling, "Open up!" One of the crying girls let out a scream, which only seemed to enrage the man further. He continued pounding, making every second feel like an eternity. Eventually, the noise stopped, and the man's screams faded as he moved further down the hall. The relief was short-lived. 10 minutes later, which felt like an hour, the dean's voice returned to the loudspeaker. He explained the situation. A mentally unstable individual had entered the building and assaulted the receptionist, forcing her to flee. It wasn't clear if the man was armed. The school staff conducted a sweep, but couldn't find him. We resumed classes with locked doors, but the most disturbing part came later. That night, a janitor found the man sleeping in a storage closet. Rumors swirled that a .44 Magnum was sticking out of his pocket. By the time the police arrived, the man was gone. To this day, no one knows if he was ever caught. I can only hope he's getting the help he needs now. My second story takes place during lunch periods. My school splits lunches into 2, the first for 6th graders and some 7th graders, and the second for the rest of the 7th and 8th graders. This particular incident occurred during the first lunch period on an overcast, rainy day in October. The day had started off unremarkable, but everything changed in an instant. Suddenly, 4 loud booms echoed through the area. At first, I thought it was thunder, but the reaction of the lunch crowd said otherwise. Kids started screaming, and chaos erupted. Campus security rushed in, yelling for everyone to move into the multi-purpose room. Those buying lunch had to leave their trays behind and hurry inside. My friends and I were herded along with a massive group of kids into the room, which had a back wall made entirely of glass. Security began covering the glass with curtains, while adults blocked every exit. Curiosity filled the air, and my friend Eric decided to ask one of the adults what was happening. When he returned, he shared what he'd learned. "There's a mentally unstable man barricaded in his house near the school," Eric explained. He's threatening to commit suicide and harm the cops if they try to evict him. Worse, he's been watching kids through the windows. To make matters even more unsettling, the man was a registered sex offender. We were stuck in the multi-purpose room for over an hour. After the situation was resolved, we were escorted back to our classrooms one by one. Later, my friend Brandy shared a chilling detail. She lived next to the man. She recounted seeing him last Halloween, cutting his arm and writing threats in blood on his window. What we initially thought was a twisted Halloween prank turned out to be a sign of his deteriorating mental state. Thankfully, he never got near us that day. These harrowing experiences remind us of the fragility of safety and the importance of staying vigilant. They also highlight how quickly an ordinary day can spiral into a nightmare. It's easy to take the routines of school life for granted, but moments like these serve as sobering reminders of the unpredictable nature of the world around us. If you found these stories as gripping as I did, don't forget to like the video, comment on your ghost encounter moment, and subscribe to the channel for more incredible content. Your support helps keep the stories coming. Stay safe, everyone.